It was time you gave yourself a gift. You deserved it. And the rain outside gave you the perfect idea. You looked out the window just to make sure that the rain you heard on the roof was in fact rain and not a person. The sky was gray and the streets shone more than they usually do. After getting visual confirmation of the water falling from the clouds in the sky, you got your rain jacket from the closet, made all of the other necessary preparations, and left to get yourself that gift. Your goal was to get something useful, something practical, yet not too expensive. When you left, you took the umbrella that was propped against the wall behind the front door. It was cheap and cheaply made. You got it on a previous rainy day, but that day you got it out of necessity. You were walking in the park that day, following the winding paths, when it started to rain. It started out like how rain often started, slowly, just a few drops at a time. A drop landed on your head and you looked up to see that the clear sky had changed and got filled with clouds. Instead of going back home, you went to the nearest convenience store to get an umbrella. You had resolved to spend more time outside, and you weren't going to let a little rain stop you from doing so. There were just a few left at the convenience store. You got the dark gray umbrella, paid for it, thanked the person working there, and left. The umbrella was glad to finally fulfill its purpose. Since that day, you took the umbrella with you whenever it rained, not because you knew that it wanted to be in the rain, because, like any rational person, you liked to stay dry whenever you weren't intentionally getting wet, and obviously, an umbrella was very useful in that regard. Unfortunately for the umbrella, you hadn't developed a close emotional bond with it. It didn't know that it was eventually going to be cast aside and replaced by another umbrella when you felt like you no longer needed it. None of this crossed your mind on your way to the store. It was just a short walk, so your mind simply didn't have time to wander into humoring such abstract concepts. You were more caught up thinking about the things on your to-do list. This outing was also meant to be a way to clear your head, to calm down from the stress just a little bit before jumping back into your work. You weren't distracted from the things you needed to do, but it did give you time away from it all. And taking short breaks was good, right? When you got to the store, the umbrella's metaphorical heart sank when it noticed that you were looking at other umbrellas. And these weren't its cheap convenience store brethren who were designed to break quickly. These were better. As just a collection of metal and plastic, it couldn't move or do anything to convince you that it was still useful, that it could still shield you from the rain another day. It sat there, helpless as you looked through the umbrellas on the stand. Its old frayed edges couldn't compete with its pristine and decorated cousins. But it had history with you. That loyalty must mean more than any printed flowers, quotes, brands, or designs that were there, vying for your attention. After what seemed like an eternity, you chose one. It was sturdy and double the price of the one you had brought with you. Both good omens for its quality and possible longevity. Even though you had a moderately okay umbrella with you already, you got it for that one day in the park, and you intended to get a new one anyway. On your way out, you tossed it in the trash bin. Next to a banana peel, the umbrella felt you walk away, and it would have yelled if it were not just an umbrella. On your way back home, you were happy with your purchase. The world itself didn't fundamentally change. You just had a new, better umbrella, with no idea of what just happened. Hey, Daniel here. I had a podcast called Missed Pages in which I read the beginnings of a few short stories. I only ever wrote 3 of them with this intention, and what you just heard was the last one that I had never actually recorded before today. I found it as I was looking through some documents and trying to fix up the RSS feed for another audio fiction project that actually has continuity that I'm working on, which I hope will be just as fun as what the 3 you've heard. Thank you so much. I hope it goes well.